Hello everyone, welcome back to Dungeon Maker, here on the World of Madness server! Hey! Right, one of these days I'm going to crack a lung trying to say that sentence anyways. So, we are, of course, still at the Harvester. We're probably going to be here until we finish this product, because I want to see this project finished, and I want it to be done. And, yeah, I know. Yeah. But, I have been hard at work, doing a whole ton of digging. I have lost track now of how many times Gentless Dixon has been repaired via mending, but I have the incredible flying lung, and that allows me to show off a bunch of stuff that's going on around here. So the first thing that we see is this column coming down the back here, which is separating for us all of the... Let's turn that off. Separating for us all of the rotten flesh and the string for uses of trading, and we also have the remaining 7 different chunks cut out already for a new slime grinder to be placed inside of them. Whoop. And now we need to somehow find our way up. I have installed a ladder here. It's a little hard to show off without plummeting to my doom. I've installed a ladder because it turns out that the capacities of certain people to actually accomplish getting up this elevator here is entirely dependent upon latency and also how good their machine is. So, consequently, I have deferred slightly away from my highly automated design there, so there is now a ladder if you feel slow. Or if you feel like moving slowly, I should say. But, either way, you come up here. I'm probably going to rearrange this upper section once I've gotten the top section, at least, of the cradle up and running, but that'll have to wait a little bit longer. We do have a ton of stuff now. We're actually getting some pretty decent bows in here at this stage, but so much enchanted gubbins. Not much has changed around here. If we look up here, though, we've got everything in here. We now actually have notes. So if I stand here, it will issue a note to let me know, oh hey, this thing is turning on, so if you happen to be inside of, say, that area directly in front of me, you're about to get clobbered, most heinously. And up there, we also actually have a dedicated dual beacon system to provide us with Strength 2 and Regen, specifically. Speed is just a side effect because you can't have Regen 2, unfortunately. And that ensures that we are able to one-hit kill, basically, anything that comes through, whether or not we have an actual sword at our disposal. And, of course, up here, I need to put magma blocks in there. I don't like the fact that this is one-sided. I realized, in the course of Mikachi Monkey and I grinding for XP and such, that spiders cause a substantial backlog and clog, really, inside of the filter. So I tripled the filter. So there's now 3 different directions that spiders can be shoved to die. They don't go into this one very much. This is the one that they most commonly go into. But if they if they decide to try and move upwards on the fences over here, such that they are no longer pushed by water, then anything coming in behind them will nudge them further up and into a water stream that carries them into this lava. So this works at ludicrous speed at this point, because anything that comes in is either a spider and gets burned very quickly, or it is something else, and it gets shoved down. So let me just chuck... there, piece of dirt. So let's just take a look at this. There will be a lag spike as this thing boots up, because every single layer is flooded to prevent mobs from spawning. I did have a interesting discovery in the course of tinkering around with this thing, which is that one level didn't actually have half slabs on the roof, which I think is where the Endermen were coming from occasionally. And a couple of them had somehow, I presume due to chunk boundaries and redstone connectivity, had about 2 or 3 dispensers on one side that hadn't activated properly, so it was leaving a blank spot, so consequently there was a bunch of mobs that were spawning there, whether or not the system was actually turned on, which was a minor inconvenience, to say the least. But I want this thing running as properly as I can. I also extended the actual filtering section. It used to be just 2 blocks, it's now 3, so they stand to come out right at the edge here. And we have already started to reach capacity here, so I'd say we're doing pretty well. You can see a spider there who's just now getting pushed into the filter. There's another one there who's probably going to end up in the same one. Oh no, he's going under. Yep. So there's just so much going on here. And we can pick this up. Hey, but everything is signposted around here, so if you happen to have somehow not been watching my videos, then you'll find out what's going on. So noticeable sound, dead man switch, stand here to get the spawns. When exiting, please wait for FPS to recover before grinding, because it makes you less likely to get something blown up. Creepers do still blow up in here on occasion, but because it's half slab, I don't tend to take away the one. So hey, that's good. You I'm getting rid of immediately. So you're still advised to target creepers first, but you don't actually need any kind of like sword to do it, so it's perfect. But oh boy, does it get noisy over here. Suffice to say. Can we get that witch? Hey, nope. Come on, witch. There we go. Witch down. Oh, and pick fully repaired. Hooray! I had to go on a bunch of different mining expeditions to get all the iron for that, because I still have the one that's down, like, on ground level. Actually, not even ground level, it's like right next to bedrock running. So I had to get enough iron blocks to make an entirely separate beacon setup, but nonetheless, it's done. And by removing the rotten flesh and the string from here, I was able to put the sugar and the spider eyes, which were 2 of the largest things that came into here, and that gives me a bunch more room for enchanted items and whatnot, which we get a ton of when people use this thing for XP grinding as is. At this point, I have so many junky bows here that I'm just ditching them into the sea, as it were, which is to say, into the disposal. And I might keep an anvil or 2 around here for people who happen to hopefully feel a bit community-spirited and clean out that thing, because otherwise I'll just start ejecting glass bottles and that won't do us any good. But I haven't got a level monitor on either of these sides as yet, but we have a huge storage here of 5 double chests plus hopper space before it gets anywhere remotely near the actual sorting system. So consequently, I'm not terribly invested in making that highly efficient. But we've got our librarians here, and on one side, I think we're going to be having the priests, who are the ones that trade rotten flesh, and over here we'll probably have the Fletchers and the shepherds and such, who trade for string and wool. And I definitely need to have some signs around here telling people that if they happen to lock a given villager, then they should please unlock it at the earliest convenience, including if that be right now, because otherwise it typically costs emeralds to get them to unlock, and of course you need to trade with them to get emeralds, so if all of these get locked up again, it's a ton of expenditure on my part, so bleh. But other than that, I mean, the digging out, that's taken me a good few days. It's a lot easier when you have haste 2 and an efficiency 5 pick, which I am now no longer the only person on the server doing that, because Mikachi has procured a beacon and is doing similar to get rid of a large hill near her property. And Monkey has been on the server and scouting out for an actual location now, so hopefully we'll actually get some videos going from people who aren't me on this server. But for the most part, not terribly much has been going on, because I've just been focusing on getting all of this digging done, and that has given me some degree of rewards and whatnot, so I have a few ores and stuff, mostly diamond and gold and a lot of redstone. Yeesh. I recently cracked about 2 and a bit stacks of redstone ore, way up there. Yeesh. Fortunately, if you didn't know this, if you have a beacon anywhere in the world, then its effect travels a portion underneath it based on how big it is, and then to the world limit. So if you put it next to bedrock, you get basically the entire world. Go away. And consequently, because a lot of these slime chunks are right next to each other, more or less, I was just digging one and then moving the beacon to the bottom and then just digging all the way down at super speed with the other. Oop, let's get rid of you. Don't want you around, and also your XP will repair my elytra. I did not originally have unbreaking free on this. Jeez, breaking free would be even worse. So I actually got a bit lost on the way back from one of my iron, mining hunts. You see how, messed up this particular beacon is. It was just made from what I had on hand. And then my elytra got down to 9 durability, I think. So I made certain that I got it unbreaking very quickly after I got back, so now it's doing quite a bit better. But it does take durability as you are flying. I think it's a fairly steady rate. I don't think it's based on actual speed, but yeah, it takes it quite rapidly. More or less about 1 a second, depending on latency. And that is unpleasant, to say the least. Yeesh. But let me see, what other piece of news is there around here? Well, now that I've gotten these actually dug out, I can begin to replicate the slime that we have over there. Look. So over here we've got it facing south to north, or north to south, whichever one you want. North-south, we'll just say. And that works for this one. This one isn't meant. Ooh, just had some more slime left. Yay! That works pretty well. I do like it. And how is this actually doing? Whoa, it's nearly filled that one. How much has it got over here then? Not as much, but it's working on it. It's working on it. And every now and then it gets some more slime, and it doesn't do it at a quick rate. But the ideal is that we have all 8 of these up and running, and then you can run to whichever one you want, and they're all just gathering slime over time. Because slimes are the only thing that can spawn in that entire chunk down to bedrock. So when you're wondering why, if something tries to spawn there, it's gonna be a slime. That little jerk is because of the elytra. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know this can be done from underwater, but apparently I suck at it. That's fine. I do have a texture pack running now. It's not as good as just having Optifine, unfortunately, but it makes rain both quieter and more transparent, so it's less of a nuisance. And it also makes portals quieter, makes minecarts quieter. As you've seen there, it removes the border on stained glass. It also makes unstained glass significantly clearer and all sorts. And I think that's about all that's been going on. As I say, I've mostly just spent the last week or so digging out all of these. And of course we are going to have to think about how some of these aren't going to be absent of feet. Some of these are going to have the actual feet of the harvester in them, because the harvester uses its feet as manipulators so that it's able to pick them up and move them to whatever new stop it may need to put them at. And a few of these we can say are potentially reaching their conclusion. But the thing that we asked and were curious about... Whoop. Oh dear, slightly fell off there. The thing that we asked and were curious about with the last video was what we should do... what we should do with the bottom underneath this harvester. And I had the idea of adding some kind of ruins, some kind of structure, some kind of sign of civilization lost. Now we do have to be a little bit careful, because if we build if we build structures underneath us up to a certain level, then when we're up here they'll also be able to get mob spawns. I don't quite remember what it was that I used as my my measuring stick when I decided to build the when I decided the altitude to build this at, but I'm sure I can dig up my old footage to figure it out. I think it was one of these hills. I'm not terribly certain, or mountains, I guess. Those are extreme hills, or whichever. Either way. But if we build it above a certain level, then we'll start to get mob spawns down there, and that'll decrease the effectiveness of the harvester, because they'll get slaughtered up here and nothing will happen to them down there, and then we'll have another issue that we'll just be stockpiling mobs down there, essentially. And yet, even I have trouble with this. I wish there was a more reliable system than this, but just Unfortunately, they've just been gradually declining in availability, so yeah. And I do need to come up with a solution for lapis. I have plenty and plenty and plenty of lapis. So much lapis, I've had to create a new shulker box just for blocks of storage. Mostly for coal, honestly. Let me see how much coal I've got in storage. I've just not been cracking it open as there's so much. Yeah, jeez. And 55 more lapis to deal with as well. And on the one hand, I kind of want that to be BYO lapis. BYOL? Biol, I guess? Sounds like a... It sounds like a chair from IKEA or something. Biol. But on the other hand, having lapis here would be really, really helpful and, like, convenient, I guess. Then again, we do have the ender chests. A lot of people now are using shulker boxes and stuff to store their gubbins and such, so it wouldn't be too much of a hassle. Let me know in the comments if you think I should supply lapis free of charge here. But actually, we also have a new addition to the Nether Hub, if I recall correctly. Which I think Monkey made it, and I'm pretty dang certain he knows it's not the slightest bit a competitor for the Harvester. But in fairness, this, like, the Harvester is me going utterly ham, so consequently I'm pretty sure no one expects anything to compete with the Harvester. That would just be absurd. But Monkey, I think he was just doing some like junk enchants to try and get some stuff. So he's built a little thing at the hub to try and get rid of a few from his storage. And I don't know if Monkey intends to start making videos on the server again. I hope he does, because again, I'd love the company. But if he does, I have a nice little idea that we can have, and I'm gonna obviously have to talk this over with Monkey. But we've got the capacity to make a reasonably large, if not unlimited, supply of high-tier enchanted books. No problem. So we could just churn out a couple shulker boxes of that at a time, maybe. And we could have a nice little stall here in the Nether Hub where everyone has access to, so it's easy to find. We could even build that spawn if we wanted to. Or pseudo spawn. It's important to remember, we have a bunch of command blocks running at world spawn. Actual spawn is like the part where everyone respawns, and that is set to be the nice little western town, which I still need to build something in. I should do something. Ideas on a postcard, or what you think I should build there. And here we are, finally reaching. This is not the fastest railway. Apparently there is a powered rail duping like option that I should look into to really soup up that rail line, but for now it's fine. So here we have the long-standing memorial to Monkey's butt, and Monkey has supplied Monkey's enchanting hairy butt. So for a limited time, these books are free of charge, so grab what you need. This one's already empty. I feel like he should have named these, but there's only so many shulker boxes in the world. And these are all pretty cheap. I think these are basically level 1 enchantments compared to the higher level ones that I tend to be pumping out. And I pump these ones out just trying to get an unbreaking free book, jeez. But these are, some of these are useful. For the most part, I have more potent things just stood in, like, storage next to my portals. So maybe we could, like, if this is the enchanting hairy butt, then maybe we could have Lying's luscious lung or something like that. I don't know. That's just pumping out really ridiculously high-level enchantments that are, like, tweaked to the max and stuff. And I still don't know whose chests these are. They've just been sat here for months. I think these might be Sneaky's, I'm not really sure. I don't even know who's like supposed to go there, if anybody. This was just sort of next to my my little hub here. But yeah. And I don't know if I've shown this off. I need to soup this up a little bit, but this is just a quick little setup that ejects you and then collects your minecart, so you are immediately ready to walk off and stuff. But anyways, I have a bunch of building work to do now. So hopefully you've all enjoyed, and I will, as always, catch you all next time.